Hello, hello, hello. Sam Tobin, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we're back for another stream. Trying to get myself acclimated into coming on daily. So I said, well, let me start off this stream with a little bit of music. And as I go to make sure that I'm being seen on my channel, looks like I am being seen on my channel. Welcome. Thank you, Edith. Thank you. This is sort of a dual stream that I'm doing. Not only am I going to give you some chords to the song "Thank You, Lord," but I also am a demoer of software from a young man who has created his own music software company, and you had a chance to hear his software in the back. This is my product demo scene. Let me come back here. So as always, I'm watching the stream on my iPad. So if any questions should come in, I can answer them immediately. I don't mind stopping what I'm doing. So you've heard some of the software, or at least one patch from that software. Let me get into what I'm going to cover. I was on for 2 hours yesterday, and no way did I expect to be on for 2 hours. But we had so many visitors come in and chat with me, I just couldn't leave. So I'm going to try and keep this one a little bit shorter as I become more acclimated into having these streams. So I'm going to cover the song "Thank You, Lord," and I'm going to do the modulation. We're in the Thanksgiving season right now. I believe we have one more Sunday before the actual Thanksgiving day, but the entire month can be. And this song can be used appropriately in any kind of a church setting. I listen to other musicians play this song, and everyone has their own chords patterns that they use with it. I like to use every element of chords to bring out a particular song. And now that I'm using a patch, which is called the worship sound, it has pads, and I don't think there's any strings in it. Let me just make sure. No, there has an actual pad in the back. I want to be able to retailor my chords to take advantage of what they call the worship sound. So let's get into it. Let's go to my scene for here. So when now I'm using the key of F, but I'm leaving, well, let's change our chordy app to match what key we're in because I'm going to modulate, but I won't change the chordy app when I do that modulation. As soon as I can find it. I have so many windows open. Close that down. There it is. Let's put you in the key of F. Now, when you're going to modulate, especially a song like this, you want to be able to pitch the song where it's number one congregational friendly, and that you leave yourself space with a congregation who may not be the most dedicated singers you'll ever hear, but will have the ability to sense the modulation, and they'll push that extra adrenaline and hit those notes. So key of F. So again, the scales give your ears a chance to hear the notes that are around it. I love the chromatic scales so that you can hear all the notes that you could possibly use when you are pitching this song. Melody is part of the scale. And it's just one word, well, three words. Thank you, Lord. A little high. I just want to thank Wow, that D above middle C. Ah, little high for congregation. Well, again, that's the adrenaline push that you will get out of the congregation when you're playing a song like this. So, because I'm a lover of 3-part harmony, now with that pad sound in the back, it sounds almost heavenly. So you went from a major to an E diminished, into a D diminished. Those chords are synonymous with the gospel sound. If you want to do it straight, that gives you the what I call the straight basic sound. But to get that gospel sound, that's that flavoring. As you can see, these chord is built on the scale. Chords are basically broken scales minus particular all the notes, which bring you a nice pleasing sound. So you put a bottom to that. That A on the bottom really gives a nice gospel feel. And that's the first thank you, Lord. Now you have a chance to give an actual transition chord. Get that word out of my mouth. So now you're here. All you're going to do is go to a D7th. Just that one change now changes the whole flavor, and just walk it up. And now you're ready for the next. Which now puts you into a G minor chord. Harmonic minor. So now you, because we're now in an actual minor sounding chord, you have access now to all the chords in that range. Resolve. So let me go back over that one. Thank you, Lord. Transition. Walk it up. Go to the G minor. Now there's so many ways you can go with this, but what we'll go straight with an A over an F chord, G7. They call it a B minor, but really it's a G7th chord, because the bass determines the name of the chord. I'll give it this bass. Another walk up. And back to. Now some will go straight down, but I go this way because this is the gospel feel. It's this note. And walk up. After the bass walks up, your chords walk down. To thank you. 100% of the song. Just that amount right there will get you through to the song. But you know me, I like to take things a little different. So now that you have your bass chords, you just stay around in there. Give it a pattern. I added a chord. kept the same generic chord pattern underneath, supporting the melody as always, but now I can add a little more rhythm and a little tempo to it. There's more you can do. You don't have to go here, but you can go right here. A little jazzy. These are the Andre Crouch chords. Thank you. And now this chord I like. Contemporary. Just keep there. Contemporary. So now I've given you 4 sets of chords that you can just add to that. Now we're going to modulate. And to modulate from F, we're going to go to G flat. I'll leave the chord app wherever it's set. The modulation is always going to turn on a 7th chord. Now in the key of G flat, the 7th chord we're going to turn on is the D flat chord. This is D flat. And if I were to drop it down, or drop this up, this down, this up, this is how close it is. So if we're going to do from I just want to thank you, here's our modulation. That's all I did. It's on the 7th, D flat 7th. 1, 2, 3. Now we're in the D and G flat. More chords. Walk up in E flat. We'll give you this one. This chord will now give you, because we're now in a different key. Now we're going to go to G again. We're going to now turn on the D7th. Right, we're here. All we're going to do now is to walk that up. And now we're in G. Just basic. And we'll give you this chord. Worship chords. Thank you, Sonia. And thanks for coming in. I just want to thank you. And always you want to have this actual cadence here. So now when you're looking at let me just change my scene here because we have some visitors coming in. This is a live session. When you're looking at chords and melodies, do you have to use every chord that you know? No. Hey, thanks, Marco. You always want to use a chord that best accentuates the melody. But when you're in an actual congregational setting, you want the chords that's going to best um, activate your congregation. Sometimes jazz chords may activate a portion of your congregation and turn off the other portion. As a musician, if you have a view of the congregation, you have to use your own eyesight and look and see who's singing and who's not, who's just waiting for the music to stop, and who's actually getting into it. I think when I used to attend concerts, the best choirs didn't wasn't always the biggest choir, but it was the choir that went up there, and you could see that the music was on point to what the choir was doing and not overshadowing the choir. So when I played as a musician, especially in services, I always made sure that the music wasn't so loud that it was ear shattering for the listener. I got on headphones so I can hear the music here, but also that the melody could be heard so that even if the singers forgot the melody, they could hear the melody supporting them. So back to the key of F, I'm going to go back to the original chords that I had in F. With this worship grand sound, again, I'm going to make sure that I give the young man. Neo Soul. Because I've changed the sound patch, my whole approach now has to change to match what the sound is. Got carried away. Change key. So just by changing a sound patch, all of a sudden now the approach to the music has to change. Now, would I use this patch in a church setting? Maybe before a service, I would go to something different, just to bring in the minds of the people who are listening. Or if I was doing a an actual production where I wanted to have this keyboard patch, this sound as an actual aux sound, then of course I would pull it in for that because it would be built around all the other music. But the fact that you can electronically now with software be able to bring in the sounds that you would normally need a lot of sound. I know I gotta do that again. Gospel grand. All right, a little bit of a bite to it, and I like that. That gospel tone you would hear. Most times churches didn't have a full Steinway, but they had a nice upright that gave you a nice biting sound. Okay. All right. Didn't want to take up too long on the stream. I was able to share with you some of the chords for Thank You, Lord, in different keys. To review this great software, I just want to make sure that I pronounce it correctly. Give me a oh, hold on, give me a chance to loosen up a little bit. It's my first time playing this morning, and to share with those of you who have been able to watching. Had a good crowd yesterday, but you'd be able to look at the replay, and I will also share this on my Facebook page for those who I did not notify that I was going live. Again, Sam Tobin, Sound of Joy Music Services. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, share, like this video. The algorithm makes it possible for me to get moved up amongst all the other great YouTube channels out there of musicians who are teaching music. I like to think I'm teaching it from my perspective. As I watch the other channels, they're teaching from their perspective where I can learn something. Like, share, and comment also. If you like this software, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go and see his channel. And if you'd like to purchase the software and support a young man who has a business of creating music software for church use, you could also do that also. Be blessed, everyone. Take care.